Hi, ACDA. I'm Erin Plisco. I am your Soprano-Alto Choir's National Repertoire and Resource Chair. Welcome to this virtual literature session. We have a great and diverse list of music for you today, and it's my hope that by the end of this session, you found at least one piece that you are unfamiliar with, or at least one piece that you can take back and do with your own ensemble. We have a great mix of pieces that have recently been published, things that have been around for a while, pieces that are relatively unknown, and things that are really popular. So hopefully we have something in here for everyone. I'm a big fan of offering my students music that gives them something different, whether that be a different vocal technique, a different stylistic approach, a language that they've never spoken or heard of, a culture that they're unaware of, or a piece that maybe deals with emotions that aren't commonly performed or spoken about. All of this music attempts to offer something just a little different to you and your students. I have personally experienced success with many of these pieces on this list today. A lot of this music is music that my own students have really connected to, or something about it has resonated with them. And if I haven't done, there are a few pieces on this list I haven't done myself. Then I've seen others perform them and have seen students just really dig into them for one reason or another. So let's dig in. We're going to take a few minutes and look at spots in each of these pieces. And then, when applicable, I'll share notes about the piece or maybe some performance rehearsal suggestions based on personal experience. If you have any questions about any of this repertoire or about anything in general, I love to talk shop, so please do send me an email. You can reach me at Erin Plisco, that's ERINPLISCO at missouristate.edu. You can also find my email address on the ACDA website. Here we go. First up, we have Hoi Hura Hoi by Czech composer Otmar Macha. This was published in 1998, so it's a bit of a throwback. It's scored for SSAA unaccompanied choir and three soloists. It's a Moravian Czech mountain song, and it's a really great way to introduce your students to the Czech language. The folk poetry comes from a region which is the natural border between Moravia and Slovakia, where shepherding cattle and sheep have been a normal occupation for young folks. And in this song, the young folks enjoy the sensation of calling out across the mountains and anticipate the enjoyment of being with their friends in the villages after their workday is done. The composer suggests that you have the three soloists stand in front of the choir, one to the right and two to the left, facing each other, spread out as far as space allows. This isn't required, of course. And that when they sing, you should have them raise their hands around their mouths as if to make a megaphone, projecting their voices across the mountains. And there are a number of recordings of this piece on YouTube that feature various spacing and stuff like this with the soloists. So let's take a listen. This recording is by the Queen Margaret College Chorale. And this slower middle section, of course, goes on, offers some soloists an opportunity. You can take this slower, if your space and your ensemble allow. And then the great thing about this piece is that the most challenging part, which is the opening bit, does return here at the very end. So some challenges faced when rehearsing this. These opening intervals, particularly for the second sopranos and the second altos, finding those starting pitches, and then navigating those ascending fourths and fifths can be challenging. Again, the Czech language here, but it does repeat at the end. And then the text, of course, in the middle section of the piece is much slower. There are a lot of great resources online regarding Czech pronunciation. And then there is also a pronunciation guide for this piece that was put together by a high school choir director. That's really useful. So a lot of resources, a great way to introduce your students to the Czech language. Our next piece is Two Rows by Eric Eschenwalds. It was commissioned by the Voices of Singapore Ladies Choir and their music director, Darius Lim. And the text is by Sarah Teasdale, and it's for SSAA voices and piano. This is not a text of Teasdale's that I was familiar with. It's incredibly tragic. It deals with loss, specifically the loss of a child. She wrote this poem for friends of hers when they tragically lost their daughter at the age of 2. I think it's important that we give our students opportunities to sing about themes like loss. It's something that everyone goes through, maybe not specifically the loss of a child, but it's a strong emotion that they can identify with, and so many of them need an opportunity and a safe space to um, communicate those emotions and experience them. And this piece is great for that. The first time I listened to it, it immediately captivated me. The students were immediately captivated. It's very emotionally accessible, and it's not difficult at all to access all of the emotion that this music captures. And it's great for that, for helping students to get in touch with those emotions and then communicate them, of course. Musically, it's very accessible, although there is four-part divisi, there's a lot of repetition, and it's somewhat strophic. So musically, um, it's not difficult. Also a lot of great opportunities for phrasing and development of various aspects of tone quality with these longer phrases, a lot of rubato, some modal mixture. It's just a great piece all around. Let's take a listen. This recording is by the Voices of Singapore Ladies Choir and Darius Lim conductor. jumping ahead now to measure 40, and this is the second time through. And just listening to it right now has got me crying. I don't think I've experienced this piece once without that emotion. So again, incredibly emotionally accessible, beautiful. There's a lot of repetition, which makes it really accessible for your students, and they will all connect with it in some way. Next up is a new publication from Walton Music, an arrangement of I Need You to Survive by Rollo Dilworth. This is an arrangement of a popular gospel tune that's been set powerfully for treble choir for SSA voices. And the message of togetherness and support that rings true in this work will really resonate with your singers. Let's take a look. This is the recording and score that can be found on the GIA Music website. We now jump ahead to page 12. This is measure 71. instruments you heard in that recording, drum set and organ, those aren't necessary. You can do it with just piano. Also, opportunities for soloists to improvise. Really beautiful piece, mostly two-part. There is some three-part towards the end. Um, I've programmed this for my own choir. I personally love how low the melody sits. I feel like we don't give our trebles enough opportunities to engage with their heavy mechanism or their chest voice. And I think this is a great way to encourage to encourage that exploration. And it's just beautiful. And anyone can connect with the message regardless of their spiritual or religious beliefs. Okay. Our next piece is a tour de force from Z. Randall Stroop, also a newer publication from Walton Music entitled Iron Rain. This is for SSAA voices and piano four hands. I'm going to read you the note from the composer because it's just really cool. So he says exoplanet WASP 76b is 600 light years from Earth. Temperatures there are so hot during the day that molecules separate into atoms, and iron and other metals evaporate from the surface into the atmosphere. Then at night, the temperature cools dramatically, and the iron and other metals solidify from their vapor state and fall back to the surface like rain. Thus the title, Iron Rain. This is my musical interpretation of the turbulent but brilliant display of hail-like rain of iron as it clatters to the surface like tiny marbles spilling out of a metal box. I actually did this piece with my ensemble this fall, and it's a big sing, but the students just absolutely loved it. Treble choirs don't get to sing about space very often, so it's just a really great subject, a great way to bridge disciplines and introduce talking points in your classroom that aren't necessarily music related. So let's take a look. This recording is by the Sam Houston State University Belvoir, and this is from the composer's website. We jump now to measure 75. We have a lot of fun tempi changes to capture all the turbulence and so on of the iron rain and all that good stuff. So here we are at measure 75. Choirs, of course, love the opportunity for making sound effects. So it slows down, and then we are here now at measure 106. Up next is another tour de force. This is Turning, arranged by Joni Jensen. This is a traditional Irish folk song that has been arranged for advanced treble ensembles with flute, violin, and ballroom. Music is really energetic and full of drive, singing of better days ahead. So with the divisi, there's quite a bit of divisi. The fast tempo, there's a lot of text. The tessitura can place a strain on younger voices, so it's definitely for more advanced ensembles, larger groups, more mature singers. But if you've had the opportunity to hear this performed live, you know how exciting it is. One of the challenges with all the text, of course, at such a fast tempo, is the main maintenance of a resonant space, especially for younger singers. That's certainly something that my singers struggle with all the text. But it's a great teaching tool, and it's really exciting, and students love it. We move on to an arrangement of Clara Schumann's Lorelei. This arrangement is by Brandon Williams. Clara Schumann set this poem as a birthday gift to her husband in 1843. Um, I have to admit, I'm not normally a fan of lieder and melody that have been transcribed for choir, but this arrangement is fantastic. And it's a great opportunity for students to have access to this kind of repertoire, even if they're not studying voice. I programmed this fall with my students, and they absolutely love it. There is a lot of German text that does present a challenge. It moves quite quickly. However, musically, it's quite accessible. A lot of great opportunities to develop nuance and phrasing, attention to text stress. It tells the story of the sirens who perch on the rock, and I guess it's a single siren in this case, but she perches on the rock and she's combing her hair and luring the sailors to their deaths. And students love to sing about that. Very engaging, exciting piano. You have to have a great pianist if you want to take it at the tempo where it's meant to live. So this is Brandon Williams' arrangement of Clara Schumann's Lorelei.
Ich weiß nicht, was es bedeutet, dass ich so traurig bin. Ein Märchen aus alten Zeiten, das kommt mir nicht aus dem Sinn. Die Luft ist kühl und es dunkelt und ruhig fließt der Rhein. Der Gipfel des Berges funkelt im Abendsonnenschein. Die schönste Jungfrau sitzet dort oben wunderbar. Ihr goldenes Geschmeide blitzet, sie kämmt ihr goldenes Haar. Sie kämmt es mit goldenem Kamme und singt ein Lied dabei. Das hat eine wundersame, gewaltige Melodie. Kein Schiffer, keinen Schiffer, ergreift es mit wildem Weg. Wahrscheinlich stellt sich der Schiffer schon in die Höhe. Ich glaube, die Schiffer schon, und das hat mit ihrem Singen die Lorelei getan. Und das hat mit ihrem Singen die Lorelei getan.
Very exciting, very dramatic. Also a great piece for instructing diction articulators, letting the consonants be a part of the line. Really just so much to dig into. And because of the minimal DVC, it's really accessible to a wide range of singers and choirs of all ability levels. Next up, we have Rena Esmail's Jainism. This is from her extended work, This Love Between Us, Prayers for Unity. It was originally scored for SATB choir, orchestra, and sitar and tabla. And she recently has transcribed the entire work for SSAA Voices. It's an incredible piece. Each of the seven movements juxtapose the words of seven major religious traditions of India. Respectively, Buddhism, Sikhism, Christianity, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Islam. And they specifically speak to how each of these traditions approach the topic of unity, of brotherhood, and of being kind to one another. And this text comes straight from canonical religious writings or from poets who write through the lens of their religion. And then in each movement, the text is presented simultaneously in English and in the original language of that respective religion. Jainism is the sixth movement. I've performed this both excerpted, so as a standalone movement, and I've also done the entire work. You can do it with just piano. Of course, if you have access to a sitar and tabla player, that's the ideal situation to expose students to Indian classical music. So the Jainism movement is said in English and a language called Adha Magadhi, which is now a dead language, of course, but it is the language of the Jain scriptures. And students can really identify with the themes of unity and the ideas of anti-violence and loving one another that are presented throughout this entire work, but specifically this movement. The asymmetrical meter presents a great educational opportunity. There's a lot of repetition, which makes this very accessible, even though the language may be difficult at first. Rena Esmail has fantastic resources on her website where she pronounces all of the text very slowly. It's incredibly helpful. She also demonstrates the gamak or the Indian classical ornaments that you can choose to implement uh, in some of these vocal lines. You don't have to, and she says that you don't have to. But again, it's a great opportunity for students to learn about a completely different musical tradition and experiment with different styles of singing.
If the mind is sinful, blamable, intent on worse, acting on impulses, producing, cutting, and splitting, quarrels, faults, and pains. If it injures living beings, if it kills creatures, then one should not employ such a mind in action.
So then, of course, the that first phrase of music repeats with different text, and then we enter into this bridge of sorts. Next, we have a beautiful setting of a much loved text. This is B.E. Boykin's setting of Ave Maria. This is for SSAA unaccompanied choir. Beautiful, lush harmonies, challenging, yes, but certainly accessible for advanced high school or university choir.
Dominus tecum benedicta tu in
We move on to The Open Hand by Susan Labar, another new publication from Walton Music. This piece is inspired by the words and ideas of Bridget Biddy Mason, an enslaved woman in the 1800s who worked and fought her way to freedom and success. So, this piece offers the opportunity for singers to learn the story of an important person in history as her words still resonate today.
When the breath you take doesn't reach deep enough, when you look outside and it seems too bright, when nothing feels like your own and you're all nothing feels like your own, and you're far from I will open my heart. If you hold your hand close, nothing good can come in. If you hold your hand close, nothing good can come in. The open hand is blessed, for it gives us its release.
Beautiful piece of music that will really resonate with your singers. Uh, Conservative Debussy and ranges, a lot of homophony. The pop-like rhythms, which can look daunting on the page, can be easily tackled through rote singing with your students. So, really accessible to singers of all ages. The Volcano of Aizu Bandai-san, an arrangement of a Japanese folk song by Hiroshi Ishimaru. This folk song is it's popular in Japan. It tells of the strength and perseverance of the Aizu people who live in this region. It speaks of the community and the beauty of the mountain. And the fiery rhythms that you'll hear throughout the piece are meant to represent the indomitable spirit of the Aizu people. Uh, Incredibly accessible, minimal DVC. It's strophic, so the biggest challenge this piece presents is really the text. It's spelled out phonetically in the music, which makes it a little easier to access. And I found that through just a little bit of repetition, it's the students pick up the text quite quickly, allowing you to adopt a fiery tempo. This recording that we'll listen to is by the Little Singers of Armenia. Again, very accessible. I love giving my students music that they feel is fiery or fierce, or feels strong either through the music itself or through the text. And this piece certainly does that. Itken Pois by Anna-Mari Kahera, a Finnish composer who has an exciting voice. The title of this piece is translated to I Weep Away. So I mentioned earlier, I am a fan of programming things for my students that explore emotions that typically aren't explored in choral music for treble voices. So that's one of the big reasons this piece really captivated me, aside from it just being awesome, is this discussion of weeping and grief. So I'll read you the translation because, as far as I know, there isn't one available. I actually had to have someone translate it for me. So the translation of the text: I feel like crying, weeping on a bed not my own. I am lost somewhere. Poor me, I have wandered somewhere. I will cry away my lovely eyes. Tears will wash away a lively face. I will lose my beautiful face. I will weep all my life long. I weep tubs. I weep saunas. I weep woods. I weep mountains. I weep lakes. I weep rivers. I will weep all my life long. A river will flow. A sea will roar of the waters I've wept. Um, so we had a great time. I say great, it's about weeping, but we spent a lot of time really digging into this and this idea of crying, of weeping, of what motivates us to do that, of normalizing the emotion. And it was one of the favorite pieces that we did that year. One of my graduate students um, did some simple choreography inspired by a scene in the movie Midsommar, which I haven't seen because it's a horror movie and I don't do that. But I've seen this scene, and it's a depiction of a community of women weeping together surrounding this one who's very, very upset, and they all collectively grieving. And so she was inspired by that and came up with simple choreography that was kind of a depiction of that or based on that. So we'll listen to this. The recording is by Filomela. I will say when we did this, if you when you look at the music, it does sit quite low. So I did take it up a half step. It's not too high for the sopranos. And instead of having a single soloist sing that opening line, it was a small group of people. Itken Pois.
Itku vielä
Jumping ahead now to measure 97.
Das wird Ohren daran, Hintgen Witzeligkeit.
A really great piece presents a great opportunity to explore a different tonal concept and explore singing from different spaces in the mouth. I like to do an exercise with my singers where I'll have them place their hands at various points along their face, and we'll just say, sing the space in front of your hand, which really just moves the tongue around inside. But it's a great way for them to explore their own resonance. I'll also say in that piece, you might have seen a low D. None of my students could actually sing that. We had a cajon player and our shaker player were both a tenor and a baritone, and so they slid that in there. The piece of Wild Things by Sean Ivory. There are a lot of great settings of this text, but in this one, I think Sean Ivory really captures the essence, and it's scored for choir, piano, and viola. Not many choral pieces, and especially not many treble pieces that have viola accompaniment. So if you have a colleague or a student who's a superb viola player, this would be a great piece to program vocally for the more advanced choir. so beautiful, so expressive. It's definitely a big sing, a tour de force. But if you have a larger ensemble, more mature singers, it's definitely something you want to add to your list. I haven't done it yet personally, but it's been on my dream list since I came across it a couple years ago. So hopefully I will have the opportunity to do it here soon. So our last few pieces aren't actually available for purchase on JW Pepper, but they can be purchased through the composer's websites. So next up is Desert Song by Sage. Sage is a Grammy Award-winning vocal group based here in the US. And this is an arrangement of their popular song by Erin. You can purchase the score at their website, sagevoices.com, SAGEVOICES.com. This was probably the favorite piece of the year with my students. They loved singing it, they loved working on it. Gives students an opportunity to dive into a different style. And they really resonate with the text. Just everything about it um, spoke to them. It also allows opportunity to, like I mentioned, working with a slightly different style of music, but also experimenting with different vocal colors and stylistic, we'll call them ornaments for lack of a better word. So here's a snippet of a recording of Desert Song by Sage.
I bet when you see the ocean, you're drawn to the strength inside the waves. But if you get caught within the ocean, the undertow will I bet when you reach the ocean, can't wait to sink your toes into the sand. Instead, you will sink into the ocean and watch your heart pull slowly from your She's Someday you will reach the desert, held by the warmth within the skies. Breathe in the exhale of the desert and see yourself reflected. The moment you reach the desert, you realize she's been singing a song of life and love. To your surprise, you're singing with the desert. You've always known the words to sing along.
So beautiful. I will say a lot of the biggest challenge with this piece was getting, 70, 80 singers to sound like one voice. But it was a fun challenge. Also incorporating a lot of the little stylistic elements. A lot of that just had to be done by rote. So taking a tiny little phrase and singing it to them with the stylistic elements was much more efficient than, attempting to write it out using like grace notes and other things. So Desert Song. Next up, we have an arrangement of a Finnish folk song by a Latvian composer. This is Kuulin Aanen, arranged by Laura Jakobsone. So she wrote this for the German vocal group Ciala. It's a treble vocal group. They travel all over the world. They're phenomenal. And I came across a video of them performing this piece a few years ago, and I've been looking for the sheet music ever since. And a few months ago, I finally came across it. It's published by Edition ICOT. It's a Japanese publishing company. Um, but it's absolutely stunning. It's in six parts. It's unaccompanied for the first bit, and then with hand drum the second half. So we'll take a listen to snippets of it because it's quite long. So that goes on for a while, and then it changes. So we'll jump toward the end of the piece, where it changes.
Tuotta taivaan palonen, tuotta taivaan palonen. Kun nyt saisin, minkä soisin, kun nyt saisin, minkä soisin.
So much faster, different character in 7/8 and with a hand drum. I'm actually starting this with my choir on Wednesday. And this is Monday right now. I'm recording this on a Monday. So I will let you know how it goes. Well, that's all I have for you. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions or you want to have a conversation about repertoire or anything else, please do send me an email. My email address is erinplisco@missouristate.edu. That's ERINPLISCO at missouristate.edu. You can also find my contact information on the ACDA website. I hope you found something today that excites you or something you can do with your choirs. Best of luck with your programming for this next year, and I hope to connect with you at some point in the future.